Hello everyone, we are going to begin our webinar now. On behalf of the entire Microsoft and PlumChoice teams, welcome to today's webinar. Microsoft CSP program, partner program, get cloud solutions to market faster and more profitably with cloud enablement services. I am Carol Ferrari, and today I'll be your host this afternoon. I'm joined by Microsoft's Amanda Hill, who is the National Technology Partner Strategist, and Dave Hauser, who directs PlumChoice's channels and alliances. In today's webinar, Amanda will give us vision into the cloud market. With more than 10 years at Microsoft focusing on building cloud partner ecosystems, Amanda will also speak about how to enable the optimal cloud strategy, starting with CSP and the benefits of the program. Dave will then take the reins, leveraging his experience in the channel and with cloud applications, and give us insight into how cloud partners can go to market faster and drive profitability in their cloud business. But before I turn things over to today's speakers, I have a few logistical items. All participants will be muted for the duration of the webinar. Of course, you'll have the opportunity to chime in via 2 polling questions and Q&A. You'll answer polling questions by selecting the applicable radio button on your screen. In addition, at any time, please utilize the questions tool in the lower right of your screen for any questions or comments you may have. We purposely allowed for Q&A time following our speakers' presentations. At the close of the webinar, you will be presented with a survey. Thanks in advance for taking a few minutes to complete it. Finally, the slides in the webinar's recording will be distributed within 48 hours after today's webinar. And if a colleague is interested in this information, we will also post the webinar to our PlumChoice.com website. So let's get an understanding of where our participants stand in their cloud revenue success and take a moment to answer our first polling question. Which of the following best describes your cloud revenue growth in the past 12 months? Please choose the radio button that you should now see on the screen. So, Amanda, what do you see within Microsoft partner community for this stat?
Yeah, companies with a cloud-first strategy are typically seeing upwards of triple-digit growth in the past couple of years as they expand their offerings and their geographic reach. But there is really a big range with partners that are just getting started with cloud by augmenting existing services, and it does kind of depend on the type of offering and how much they've invested and their go-to-market strategy and this kind of thing. But some are seeing upwards of 300% or more with significant focused investment areas. So it'll be interesting to see what the folks on the call come back with.
I'm going to leave the poll open for about 10 more seconds. So Dave, while we're waiting, how would you weigh in on this?
I would agree with Amanda quite a bit. I think there's a lot of different factors that really play into how well companies are doing within the cloud. Some of the logical factors would be how long have they been selling cloud solutions for? Is this something you're just starting to get into in the last 6 months? Or have you been really putting together a cloud strategy over the past 2 or 3 years? And then how big of that is that part of your business? If it's a small segment of your business, typically it's not growing as fast. But if you've really put a shoulder behind it, we've certainly seen a lot more growth. And then the other part of it is really what are the items and what are the ways and avenues that you've been going to market? Have you been going to market in the traditional sense where you're selling discrete cloud solutions? Have you been putting together more solution-oriented opportunities for your customer base, wrapping services around it, putting hardware around it, putting other things that really drive value to the customer base to help you really grow that cloud revenue stream?
Great, Dave. Thank you. So our poll is over, and as you can see, the largest percentages of our cloud revenue attendees, over 30% of people get 30% of the revenues come from cloud, and the next pocket looks like it's around the 1 to 10%. So this is good. What I think that our attendees could gain out of this is some other ideas of how to grow that revenue, both through Amanda and Dave. So let's carry on. I'm going to turn it over now to Amanda Hill. Amanda.
Great, thank you. So let's start with some new insights into the cloud opportunity. So IDC recently forecasted that the greater cloud market would reach $200 billion by 2018 and growing at a 13% compounded annual growth rate over the next 5 years. They also found that customers spent over half of their IT budget on cloud and managed services in just this past year alone. And the IDC also predicts that 70% of CIOs will shift to a cloud-first strategy by 2016. That's coming up pretty quick. Now, they may not always choose the cloud, but they will investigate cloud options first. This in itself is a huge opportunity for any system integration or consulting organization that's offering cloud solutions. So now really is the time to take a look at your business to ensure you have packaged cloud solution offerings to serve this market. Microsoft partners play a real critical role in helping businesses in this area by providing comprehensive advice on how to incorporate cloud into their business processes. Partners are providing that personal engagement, and they can help simplify investments and tie solutions together to make things real for businesses. And it's our partners that really become those trusted advisors on technology solutions and business processes. So you might be thinking, okay, well, I understand that there's a cloud movement going on, but what's an optimal cloud strategy for my business? Well, if you haven't read the IDC's 2.0 version of the Successful Cloud Partners ebook, which was published around this time last year, be sure to check it out. There's great insight in that study, in the first study on how to profit with cloud solutions, and it has suggestions for things such as cash flow and ramp-up considerations when you're moving to a recurring revenue model. There's also talk about delivery structure and sales compensation in there. And then there was a second study that was done that has updated information with insights on how partners are finding success, and it does go into best practices in sales and marketing strategy. Now, as a part of that work, we reaffirmed that cloud-oriented partners and those that are driving more than 50% of their revenue from a recurring stream generate 1.5x the amount of profit as their peers, and they realize a 1.4x faster growth rate. And then additionally, partners with an optimal cloud strategy have the opportunity to increase their EBITDA from 2.4x up to 5 and all the way up to 14x. That's huge for the value of your business. So it's key to understand that not all revenue streams are equal. Partners that focus almost entirely on product revenue have the biggest barrier to adopting long-term cloud strategies. And this is really due to the margins for the revenue line being tied to vendor incentives. So in that area, partners are subject to changes in the strategy and desire to fund programs, and they have the least control over their own destiny. And for those of you that are in the hardware and the software resale business, I'm sure you've seen margins shrinking over the past several years now in that area. Then there's project services, and project services typically drive a range of approximately 35% gross margin, but this too has been under some pressure for some time. And it's kind of a result of little differentiation in our channel, which has caused billable price points to hold steady over the past 5 years, while increasing salary and benefit costs of consultants and inflation have eroded that profitability. So as a result of this, the aggressive and the entrepreneurial members of our channel have adopted and gone after higher margin opportunities of managed services, which generate on average between 45 and 55% gross margin, and they've been going after packaged IP, which can often exceed 65% gross margin. Now, when I say packaged IP services, it doesn't have to be this monolithic type application. It could be an add-on app. So think about when you're doing similar things across multiple projects and how you might be able to package that up, that intelligence up, or that methodology in a repeatable way, or to deliver it as an application that's actually paid for on a subscription basis, like perhaps creating intranets or creating repeatable types of workflow. It's these partners with those recurring revenue streams who are setting themselves up to be rewarded in the long run with much higher valuations of their business. So with the transformation to cloud solutions, partners and customers have been asking Microsoft for a few things, such as the ability to offer packaged solutions to customers that entail both the underlying cloud technology and the associated licensing, along with a full solution offering. Partners have also been asking to own the customer relationship from beginning to end without having to engage Microsoft or a licensing reseller to create a packaged offering. And then also be able to offer partner services coupled with support and IP offerings in a monthly pay-as-you-go model. Microsoft has heard these requests for some time now and have developed a new partner program to address these asks to give all of our partners a little bit more control over the solutions that they're selling that rely on the underlying Microsoft technology. So to address these asks, the availability of the Cloud Solution Provider Program was recently announced at Microsoft's annual Worldwide Partner Conference back in July. And here's a little bit about what this is and what it gives partners and how to sign up should you be interested. So the CSP program enables partners to directly manage their entire solution offerings that encompass Microsoft Cloud technologies. So in this model, partners own and drive the sales, the billing, the provisioning, management, support, and the value-added services. And Microsoft provides its partners with tools to directly order and provision and manage their customer subscriptions of those technologies and allows them to easily bundle their own offerings into one monthly or an annual customer bill that's on their own paper. So the solutions available in this kind of model are Office 365, Intune, Enterprise Mobility Suite, Azure, as well as Dynamics CRM Online. So our basic cloud suite of technologies. You know, you can also think of this like a syndication model where you're reselling cloud solutions such as, say, Office 365, and you're wrapping managed services and support around it. Or think of it from a unique packaged IP solution for a vertical, such as a legal industry, where maybe you've given the solution a name, and Office 365 is simply the means to drive that solution, and it kind of comes along with the package. Or think of a desktop management solution where Azure is a part of how you enable the solution, and the solution is sold under your unique offering name, and again, Azure is just the underlying platform that lights it up. So you're probably wondering, how do channel incentives work in this new model, in this CSP model? Well, with this model, partners can earn upfront margin through a wholesale price list, compared to other existing programs such as Open, EAs, and Advisor that do have channel incentives, but those incentives are based on sales and performance, and they are subject to change, depending on customer usage. There are two models available here to select from. The first is a direct, which we call one-tier model, in which you integrate directly into Microsoft CSP portal for ordering and for provisioning, and you're responsible for providing all aspects of the customer life cycle, which I'll talk a little bit more about what that entails here shortly. The second way to get involved is with the indirect, or the two-tier model, where you still own the customer relationship, but you order the Microsoft software and provisioning through a distributor. So there are 5 approved distributors, or disties, serving a vast ecosystem of partners, and you can take a look at the links that are provided here in this deck for the list of those disties that have reseller solutions available. But really with both models, the direct or the indirect model, you control all aspects of the customer relationship. It's just whether or not you want to take on that direct with Microsoft with a full margin potential, or you want to work through a distributor who will package things up for you and provide some of the required services and pass on a slightly lower margin. So check out this link here for more program details. There's great information and guidance here. Then determine which model might best suit your business if you're interested in moving forward. And then you can change that at a later time if you desire. So for the one-tier direct level participation, you would complete a partner form on our Partner Center, which shows that you meet all the program requirements. For a two-tier, that indirect reseller going through a distie, you would connect directly with one of the approved disties to help you understand the requirements of getting on board. And those disties are AppRiver, Ingram, Intermedia, Synex, and Tech Data. Okay. So what are the benefits to you of CSP? So I'll share with you some of the reasons that other partners are jumping on board with the program. First of all, it allows partners to sell and provision multiple Microsoft Cloud services along with their own offerings without having to rely on other partners to provide that underlying license for their solution or have to go fight for associated incentives that are tied to their work. Then partners own the complete customer lifecycle through direct billing, provisioning, management, and support. And then you can bundle in other SaaS solutions with a single customer bill and be seen as that trusted advisor in a one-stop shop for integrated solutions. The CSP program enables you for success in this cloud-first, mobile-first world. You create a package offer, you set the customer price, and receive upfront margins on the underlying Microsoft software licensing with an average per user revenue. You control discounts, you control special offers, making you more nimble and in control during competitive situations. This really creates kind of a smoother customer buying process without having to go to multiple vendors, and then a smoother partner selling process as well. From the customer's perspective, they can purchase your tools, products, and services more easily in a subscription model with a predictable bill, and even have access to monthly billing options. Now, customers will also have more frequent interactions with you in this model as a partner, which can serve to deepen your relationships. So studies have shown that 67% of customers expect to purchase a wide variety of cloud services from a single vendor. And 84% of customers want an established relationship with a vendor to trust them as their cloud solution provider. These stats are from the same IDC study that I mentioned earlier, as well as a recent Forrester study. Okay, so let's talk about the components of Microsoft's Cloud Solution Provider program so that you can get an understanding of what you'd be responsible for and some ideas on additional services to consider to span the customer life cycle of whatever it is that you're already really good at. So think about having solutions that span the initial discovery and awareness of your offerings, as well as providing an easy way to purchase and deploy. Then assisting the customer in driving their own internal usage and adoption to get the most out of their purchase. But don't stop there. Think about how you'll provide support after the fact with any issues that they might have, and provide managed solutions that drive loyalty to your business. This will help differentiate you and keep customers coming back to you. With the CSP model, you can package up several solutions with a flat per user fee. You can charge a premium for those types of services that provide that full customer experience, and it'll set you apart from the competition. So there's 4 core areas that you can see here on the slide to consider to make the CSP program work for your business. Now, of course, new investments will vary based on your current practice, and some of the areas are required, which you can see here in red, while others are recommended. So let's start with the first area, and that's direct billing and provisioning. So you are responsible for the ordering, the billing, the provisioning, and the renewal of Microsoft Cloud technologies that make up your solution. As a direct one-tier partner, you can order and provision through Microsoft's Partner Center portal and then reconcile against your own billing system, or you could leverage our Crest APIs to integrate with your billing system. So at a minimum, you're going to need at least a basic billing solution for a subscription model if you don't already have one. And then depending on your size and your ability to invest, it might be easiest to get started with Microsoft's portal to get a feel for just how it all works, and then decide whether or not you want that API integration. Now, if you do want to go the integrated way with APIs, but you don't want to do all that work yourself, there are a few third-party billing and commerce platform partners available, such as AppDirect, Odin, and Insum. Now, these 3 entities provide the underlying platform for managing subscriptions and payments for billing, distribution, provisioning, and they bring together other software and managed services solutions in a cloud marketplace that ties into our CSP APIs. Now, in the indirect model, many of our 2-tiered distributors use these underlying operational platforms, as they just make it really easy to buy and sell integrated cloud solutions with a variety of options. But like I said, you don't need to use a third-party commerce platform. You can get started and go directly to Microsoft's Partner Center portal, coupled with a basic billing solution. The second area is technical support services. These are also a requirement of CSP. In a cloud world, post-sale services are much more important than they once were. And companies that provide great customer support with quick answer time and quick resolution fare much better in the long run to keeping that customer and being able to renew the services and upsell as the needs of the companies change. It is expected that you are the first point of contact for your customer. They should always contact the partner first in this model, and this includes both Tier 1 and Tier 2 tech support. And as part of the program, partners do have the ability to create support requests with Microsoft when you do encounter an issue that can't be resolved without any assistance, such as there's a service outage, or maybe there's trouble with the Partner Center portal and just placing the order, right? You can open those kind of support tickets with Microsoft. You'll need to provide a clear description to customers on how they're going to receive support. So a service level agreement is highly recommended as a part of the customer agreement. If you do not provide around-the-clock phone support, you must provide a service level agreement to explain the available options. With 24/7 support, while that's not a hard requirement for the program, it is highly recommended. And many partners do choose to provide different tiers of support at different price points. In a few minutes, you're going to hear from Dave with Plum Choice on the solutions that they have available for both pre-sales, technical, and configuration support, as well as post-sales 24 tech support and advisory services and managed service offerings that are going to drive usage and adoption. You'll also hear about their white label and their co-branded offerings for partners of any size that would allow you to monetize on support as a service. The third area is data migration services. So this area includes things like business consulting and onboarding where Fast Track is not available, deployment, implementation and migration services to help customers get onto Microsoft Cloud Solutions. There are great data migration and automation tools available from companies like BitTitan and Skykick, and you'll find packages available for multi-workload data migration, onboarding and activation services, as well as readiness and automated tool sets. And actually, BitTitan just announced an MSP Complete offering that could be very attractive for getting started with CSP. And then the fourth area is around managed services and solutions. This is where your value add really comes into play. This is not a requirement for CSP, but it will differentiate your offering from buying direct from Microsoft. The most successful partners in this model do provide managed service offerings for customer lifetime value bundled with that Microsoft Cloud technology. So this could be managed services and solutions that extend the native cloud capabilities found in Office 365 or Azure or CRM Online. Many such solution applications are available from partners developing on top of Microsoft's cloud platforms, and this pool is growing rapidly. Just to call out a few that have been really successful recently, there's a solution from Better Cloud, and they have an Office 365 management, alerting, and monitoring solution, as well as a 365 Ninja app for partners to drive usage tips and tricks and drive that adoption. Nuvolux also has a management solution. Nintex has packaged workflows for SharePoint. I've also seen some security and regulatory managed service packages available. You can pick and choose solutions of interest that are already in market. You can package those up with your own offerings and reap anywhere from 20 to 30% ongoing margin from reselling those solutions as a part of your offerings. Or, of course, look to your own capabilities to see where you can package up repeatable methodology or functionality in a subscription model. So these here are the main components of success with the CSP program. If you're at all interested, please note you don't have to do this all yourself. There are great partner enablement solutions that you can leverage and you can also monetize on to enable you to own the ongoing customer relationship with whatever solutions that you're already offering. In that direct model, you would aggregate these offerings yourself, and in an indirect through disti relationship, they typically do package up and provide at least the basics in their resale program. Now, if you do have a Microsoft partner rep, I would encourage you to explore the options further with them, and then also leverage Microsoft CSP landing page for more information. So now I'd like to turn it over to Dave with Plum Choice, who's going to share with you their technical support and their managed services offerings to help you build out a solution with this model. Carol, I think over to you first, right?
Thanks, Amanda. Yes. Before we hear from Dave, let's take a moment or two to better understand our webinar group as far as where they stand on the challenges faced by cloud providers. So also, I see some questions coming in, but don't forget to use that question tool in the lower right hand of the screen. So now I'm going to launch this poll. What is the #1 customer challenge you face in your company today or offering cloud solutions? So given the results of our first poll, it will be interesting to see the answers to this question, because we've seen this question's answer depend on the years of experience in the cloud. So Amanda, what factors do you see that would affect the #1 challenge some of our partners might face?
Oh, sure. Factors that come into play have to do with different business models, organizational size, sales and technical expertise, as well as competition can affect those top challenges. So it'll be interesting to see what the folks on the call today say.
We've got about 10 more seconds left before we close the poll.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Amanda, that it really depends on the channel partner, what type of channel partner they are. We see a lot of different challenges based off of, a system integrator has a challenge of 24/7 support, where you might see an LSP that is looking for both the 24/7 support as well as the activation services. So depending on the channel partner and what their core competencies are, there are different challenges that they may have.
Great. So it looks like we've got a split between converting prospects to customers and providing 24/7 support.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Thank you for those answers. Yeah. I don't even have to comment any more on that, because you'll hear about solutions to those two problems from Dave when he comes up to play. So thank you, Amanda, for your great insights. And now I hand it over to Dave.
Well, thank you. And that was really good information there, Amanda. Very powerful stuff. A little bit about Plum Choice. Plum Choice provides unique customer engagement. And we do that, and we enable our partners by allowing them to get to market faster, drive new business activities, and become much more profitable. So the question you probably have in your head is, well, how do you do that, right? Plum Choice is a cloud lifecycle enablement services company. We are not a CSP provider. And what I mean by that specifically is that we don't deploy Microsoft technologies that are out in the marketplace. What we do is we work really hard on behalf of our partners. We're designed to truly support and augment the services that you're offering out to your customer base throughout the entire customer lifecycle, really from hello to forever. And we do this by working closely with our partners to understand all the salient touch points to provide value-added services. And we do so both in a white label or co-branded manner, as Amanda alluded to earlier. We're able to mix and match the different services that we offer to fit any size partner organization, from small, mid-market service providers, different small VARs, managed service providers, all the way up to large national providers as well as LSPs and hosters. What you'll see on this slide here is at the beginning of the life cycle, we can assist your prospects through pre-sale support and helping you convert your prospects into paid customers. We then have technical competencies where we can provide onboarding services to your customers. And while doing these onboarding services, we ensure that your clients are not only properly onboarded, information is migrated into the cloud if needed, but we also make sure that your customers know how to use the service. And we also review the purchase with your customer as well. And what I mean by that is that we'll ask them a few questions, and we'll work with you on these questions, but some of the questions may look like this. How many employees do you have within your organization? Are all those employees looking to have O365? You mentioned you have 25 employees, you purchased 20 licenses. Are you interested in buying 5 additional licenses? And we can work with you to be able to sell more subscriptions at that point in time. As Amanda mentioned earlier, having support is also a requirement to be a Microsoft CSP partner. and we're able to provide your customers with 24/7 support for a wide array of cloud solutions in the marketplace. So if you're looking to become a Microsoft CSP partner, but you're missing support services, we can help you get to market faster so that you can focus on the items that are core to your business and you can build your business out. In the example on this slide, what we're showing you here is that you can wrap 24/7 technical support around Office 365, or for that matter, any other solution that you have within the marketplace. We can offer solutions in a variety of different ways, which include full 24/7, Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 escalation support, where it truly is a turnkey support services for your customer. And depending on your competencies and what you'd like to have augmented, we have the flexibility to provide services in different manners, which include off-hour support. So you would actually do the support from 8 to 8, and we could do the support from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. If you like to provide support during working days, you could do that in that fashion. Additionally, if you like to manage part of the support services, we could offer Tier 1 support where you would handle the Tier 2 support calls, or we could do that in a vice versa fashion as well. So the point is we can really work with you based off of what your competencies are and what you want to do to be able to get you to market quicker. If you look at the next slide, as a channel partner or cloud developer, you're looking to build market share, you're looking to increase profitability, and you're looking to drive overall customer stickiness. By putting together a service wrap around core cloud, in a lot of cases, even non-core cloud or non-cloud solutions that you're selling, you're able to grow your business faster. The programs are simple to get going, and you're able to augment them in an easy fashion to meet your business objectives. So the example that I've shown here on this slide is a little bit further out than the one I showed on the other slide. So we're not only showing the 24/7 support services, but we're showing several other things. For example, if you're trying to put together a bundle, you might want to start with Office 365. Maybe you have some sort of endpoint security. You might have Microsoft Surface tablet or book. You're able to wrap 24/7 support around that. You're also able to put onboarding and activation services around that. And through our onboarding and activation services, we have directly seen an increase of more than 400% in the number of subscribers that begin to use the cloud applications. Additionally, everyone knows how important it is to get a customer off on the right foot. One way of having a satisfied customer is by eliminating dissatisfiers. And by helping activate a customer, we're able to get them off on the right foot. We have helped set up the customer properly, we've trained the customer, and because of that, and as a result of that, we've often seen a 58% reduction in future support calls and a reduction in customer churn. Our pre-sale support can also help convert more customers. The sales services can be leveraged to upsell and cross-sell to your existing install base, or it can be used to attract new customers as well. Amanda spent some time earlier showing that not all revenue streams are created equal. And one of the services that Plum Choice can offer our channel partners is the high margin business like managed services. We provide managed services in a white label or co-branded capacity just as we do with all the other services. But instead of looking to invest and build a managed services team, you can go to market fast. You can go to market very quickly with a high margin managed service business that creates even greater stickiness to your client base. Overall, you can see that Plum Choice has a unique value proposition that allows you to wrap services around core solutions that you're selling to create more customer value. And the support services are offered in a per-seat subscription manner. So what that means is that depending on the number of individuals that you sold Office 365 to, we sell that on a per-seat basis, the support services. Often the channel partner is able to get north of 25% margin for the services that I walked through before. So what you're going to find on this slide is kind of a case study or case in point of how we've worked with a large national reseller. And as you can see on this slide, there's a wide array of services that we can work with you, or in this case, the national reseller, to augment their services. Plum Choice is providing this particular partner support services in 4 categories. Productivity, which includes O365 and OneDrive, cloud security, which includes companies like McAfee, Symantec, and Trend Micro, cloud backup, which includes companies like Mozy, and we also help them with unified communications and collaboration, companies like BroadSoft, and we also work with Skype, obviously, very closely as well. We're providing managed services to their business and to their client base as well. Managed services provide an additional service layer that provides greater value to the customer and stickiness to the partner. And as Amanda mentioned earlier, managed services allow channel partners to quickly move up that margin stack. In this particular case, we're providing managed services in an SOW-based manner. However, we can work with you and put that together in a SKU-based manner as well. Some of the managed services that we've been providing have been wrapped around proactive monitoring and management of the end user's IT infrastructure, all the way from an endpoint perspective to server and networking as well. Like the national reseller we have, another example that I wanted to share with you was with a large system integrator that we work with. In the case of the system integrator, we are working with them closely to augment the services that they offer and provide additional services with the customer, enabling greater stickiness and lifetime value with their customer base. The system integrator is managing all of the onboarding, all of the migration services that they do, and that's truly core to their business, so they don't need any sort of augmentation there. But what we're doing for them is we're providing services for workloads around O365, OneDrive, SharePoint, Yammer, and Skype for Business. And we're providing the channel partners clients with high margin managed services as well. So real quickly, we're doing all the support services for them, and we're also working with those customer base on the managed services side. So they've moved from a project-based company to really having those services flow through and be able to drive more value to their customer base and more profitability to them. The channel partner has been extremely excited as they're able to capture an additional revenue stream and have created greater tentacles to continue to work with the customer. So through competencies that they didn't have internally. So what they were debating internally is, do we build these things out? Do we build out the competencies, hire more people, or do we look to go to market faster and partner with a company like Plum Choice? So overall, Plum Choice provides cloud enablement services that can be done either in a modular manner to augment your business, or we can look at it programmatically across the entire customer lifecycle. The result of the cloud enablement services is that it can drive more business, drive overall profitability, and customer lifetime value through increased customer engagements that include onboarding your clients successfully, increasing customer usage, and increasing your share of wallet through cross-selling and upselling cloud services. Plum Choice's value proposition aligns well with Microsoft's CSP program, as the Microsoft CSP program is allowing all the channel partners to truly own the customer through the entire customer lifecycle. And Microsoft CSP is a great way to move your cloud initiative into a much, much higher gear. If for some reason you don't think that the CSP program is a good fit for you, Plum Choice can still help you augment many of your services, and we'd love to connect with you. So a few points on next steps. If you're interested in learning more about Microsoft's CSP program, what I'd recommend that you do is go to their website, and that's aka.msp/cloud solution provider. Once again, that's aka.ms/cloud solution provider. And if you're looking to learn more about Plum Choice and looking at ways to wrap services around your current solutions that you're going to market with, please send an email to Microsoft Partners, that's with an S, Microsoft Partners @plumchoice.com.
Thanks, Dave. So the information that you and Amanda shared prompted some great questions, but before we launch into the questions, I wanted to let all of you know as attendees about the complimentary cloud enablement assessment that you're qualified for. So if you'd spend 7 to 10 minutes with one of our specialists, you'll get an assessment for where your business is now and our specialist recommendations for driving growth from your business. Don't forget to ask your questions in the window and email us or call us to take that cloud assessment. It only takes 7 to 10 minutes. Okay, so questions are coming in here. Let me grab some here. All right, this one looks like it is for Amanda. Amanda, can you give some examples of what you spoke about earlier, packaged IP services?
Oh, sure. So let's see, a few examples, let's say for Office 365 packaged IP solutions that I've seen in the market are SharePoint-based vertical and industry-specific workflows. I've seen functional-specific workflows such as for HR, for procurement. I've seen some really neat automated Office 365 telemetry for availability and performance insights. Some external portals for end customer information, as well as pre-configured dashboards.
Great. Great examples, Amanda. Thank you. All right, let me see here. This one, let me give this one to Dave. So what types of cloud solutions do you recommend to get started?
So that's a really good question. One of the things that I've seen folks fail with, quite frankly, is when you try to go to market with too many solutions. And try to put together, 30, 40 different cloud solutions to go to market. So one thing I'd recommend doing is try to limit the number of cloud solutions that you go to market initially. Microsoft solutions should be really core to what you've gone to market with. As we've gone to market, we've seen the highest amount of volume wrapped around, things like O365, SharePoint, Yammer as well. So I try to pick those key areas and also look at some endpoint security and cloud backup as well. Companies like Mozy or Carbonite should be part of that solution pack. But I try to figure out a few core best-of-breed solutions within those core areas and go to market with those.
Great, Dave. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, this one's clearly for Amanda. How do I choose between a direct and an indirect model as a CSP partner?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I touched on a little bit in the presentation, but the direct model provides full licensing margin direct from Microsoft, and it also requires that the partner own the billing, the provisioning, the subscription management, and the ongoing support. So if you have the ability to package up cloud solutions and provide billing and support, you may want to consider this option right off the bat. But the indirect model does allow you to work with a distributor, and that distributor would be the one that would provide all those basic requirements of the program, such as access to Microsoft CSP Partner Center portal for the ordering and the provisioning. They would provide you those support options, and many of those disties do have cloud marketplaces that'll aggregate other vendor solutions even outside of Microsoft. Now, those disties would take a percentage of the licensing margin coming from Microsoft for the services that they provide. So, depending on your business model, indirect could be a great way to get started, or it could be used as a long-term strategy as well. If you do start here, just know you're not locked in. If you decide you want to move to a direct model in the future, that works too. So hopefully that helps clarify a little bit. And be sure to take a look at that CSP landing page that we provided too.
Thanks, Amanda. Okay, let me see here. Okay, let's go with Dave on this one. Can you give some examples of how your customers are bundling your services? Sorry, I can't read it. But like pricing and packaging type things.
Yeah, it's really been based off of the segmentation that our customers are in. So I'll give a few specific examples. We have some larger telcos that are bundling not only their cloud solutions like Office 365 in there, but they're also looking to bundle broadband services as well. So that's core to their business. It's core to what they're selling to their customer base, and looking at different ways of putting together really a solution that makes sense for businesses that are out there. I've seen some VARs that have been putting together hardware along with cloud solutions as well. So you're looking at a Microsoft Surface that's wrapped in that has Office 365 again. Maybe it has some sort of endpoint security, a few other items, and wrapping services around there. So what they've been able to do is, based off of who they are as a company, as a channel partner, put together either core solutions that they've developed or things that is their prime business to be able to wrap together and bundle and bring to their customer base.
Great. Let's see. Okay, this one's a pretty good one. If I have been offering cloud solutions for a while, what's the next step as far as services or maybe even cloud solutions? So I'll give it over to Dave first, and then Amanda can.
Sure. So that's a really interesting question. So I think there's a few things within that question. One is, if you've been doing it for a while, the first question I would ask is what's working well for you and what's not. So we've done this a lot with our different channel partners that we have, and we'll go throughout the entire customer life cycle, look at the analytics, so we understand what their conversion rates look like, what's the adoption of the different services that they have, what's their usage patterns look like, how many service support calls are there, and what's the cross-sell, upsell opportunities there. If you're seeing that folks aren't using the solutions that you have, you're at great risk, right? You're at great risk that people are going to turn away from you, and they're certainly not going to use you if you're thinking about selling more services to them. So in that scenario, I would look at some sort of onboarding solution. I would try to figure out a way to make sure that the customers get off on the right foot and they begin to use the service right away. If you're having issues wrapped around, well, I've sold a cloud solution into that customer base and I'm not able to sell more, that may be an issue wrapped around what's your selling methodologies and how do you put that together. So what we do really is, one of the things that you'd want to look at if you've been selling cloud solutions for a long time is, what does that look like? And then how do you make sure that you can optimize the areas that you may not be doing as well as you should? The other thing that I think is really important, and Amanda really did a great job of walking through this, is how do you move up the margin stack, so to speak? If you've been just selling products over the years and you're getting 20, 25% margin points, how do you move up to higher margin business? And managed services is a really, really good way of doing that. It's good for a few reasons. One is the managed services give you a much higher revenue stream and much more margin than you're able to get from selling traditional products, point one. But point two is, if you do it correctly, it gives you tentacles within that organization so you can sell more stuff. They're going to understand what hardware you're using. Is the hardware out of warranty? It can help you understand what their entire cloud infrastructure looks like. Should you be selling some other sort of components in there? And it really puts you as a trusted advisor with that customer. So I think those are the two things that I would look at if I've been selling cloud solutions for a while and trying to continue to grow my business.
Amanda, anything to add on that?
Yeah, those are really great points, Dave. I guess the only thing I would add there is, think about, do you have a subscription model for your unique solution and the IP that's wrapped around it? And then the other thing I would think about is, do you have regular touch points with the customer after a deal is sold and it's implemented to stay relevant? That could be either, proactive or reactive support type services or maybe management type solutions so that you stay front and center with that customer.
Great, Amanda. Thank you. There is a question about the availability of the slides. And yes, all attendees will be getting a copy of the slides, an email, and a link to the recording. Here's one. Another question, sorry, is how do I become a CSP partner? Can you run through that again?
Yeah, absolutely. So to become a CSP partner, you'll want to determine if you want to go that direct one tier or the indirect through a disty 2-tier. That's kind of the first question. And to answer some of those basic types of questions and to get more information on the program, check out our portal that has all things related to the program, and it's aka.ms/cloud solution provider. And if you decide that you want to do the direct model and own the billing and the provisioning and the support, then there is a form to fill out. It's a partner form, and it would go through our partner center, and there is directions and information on how to do that on that landing page that I provided. Now, if you have a Microsoft, partner type of a rep that you've connected with, I'd recommend talking with them. If you don't, there is great information on that portal, as well as a link to get connected with somebody for more info.
Thank you, Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next question is, how should I look at support with my customer base?
So I'll take that one. That's a really good question. And in fact, each customer is a little bit different. So, if you want to, certainly you can send me an email at microsoftpartners@plumchoice.com, and I can go through that in a little bit more detail. But One of the things that I'd really look at within your customer base, and Amanda touched on this, is what are the SLAs that you want to have? How important is support to what your solution offering is? How core is that to your business offering? And based off of that, put together some really, good SLAs that make sense of what you're trying to do. And then the next piece of that really is how do you use support as not only an opportunity to solve customers' problems, which you have to do, but how do you turn that into a revenue-generating opportunity as well? You have a customer on the phone, you're able to solve their problems at that point in time. Are there opportunities that you want to instill within your processes to be able to also turn that into a revenue generation? And we can work with you on that if that's important to you.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, well, we thank you for participating in today's webinar. When you exit the webinar, you'll be presented with a survey, so we greatly appreciate you taking a couple minutes to answer that so we can help enhance our webinar series. Feel free to contact us directly with any additional questions or check out plumchoice.com. And thank you again for your time, and have a wonderful afternoon.